So even in the first volume, as soon as we introduce issues around abolition, women's rights, and other social reform campaigns, we already are trying to show how different groups of Americans both experience their lives and then how that drove them to support different kinds of social movements. Obviously, that's intertwined with histories about Western expansion and the growth of cities and industrial development. But whatever the topic, we're trying to intertwine the experiences of different groups of Americans, as well as look at different aspects, cultural, social, economic, and political, in each period. I also think a lot of the way we've written the textbook and incorporated biographies, short biographies, and primary sources came out of our own experiences teaching the U.S. History Survey at the University of South Florida in Tampa, where we both had our first jobs and were there for many, many years, and then at Rutgers in New Jersey, which is both of them are very diverse, have very diverse student bodies. And so in trying to speak to those students, we often found ourselves having to go out and find primary sources that talked more about the South, more about, in the case of Tampa, Cuban Americans, more about African Americans than the standard textbook did at that time. And so we incorporated a lot of the primary sources that we use in this textbook came out of our own experience teaching, and in particular, these documents projects at the end of each chapter were something that we each developed and used in our courses, but of course we were Xeroxing them and mimeographing them in the old days to try to put these together for our students. But we always wanted to have a textbook that had documents projects key to each chapter so that the documents projects and the themes of the chapter work together.
We really want students to understand that history is about people, and many people not unlike themselves. So as you saw earlier, with Mary Elizabeth Lease, we include in all of our chapters two biographies that open up each chapters. Some of them are well known, but most likely most of them are not. And some of them, and we've tried to include people from diverse backgrounds. And we hope in doing this, it gives students, an understanding that people are agents of historical change, and that people from all different backgrounds have been able to contribute it. And that's why we very consciously called, our textbook Exploring American Histories, plural. And that posed a challenge for us because there are many American histories, but clearly you can't talk about all of them. They won't fit the pages of the book. But we do hope that we've picked individuals who made a difference, who made a contribution, and sometimes a negative contribution in shaping American history, and that students can understand